You know, folks, I can't stop thinking about the fist pump Trump performed after having his ear maybe, but maybe not, injured when he got shot, or maybe just shot at. That and the truly embarrassing resurrection of 70-year-old Hulk Hogan ripping off his shirt to try to signal to the flock that manliness stays, even if you're diapered or obsolete. The entire MAGA brand is based on machismo and the perception of it being used for their benefit. It's one long Rambo fantasy for men who are effectively little boys and women who've been fooled into thinking performative strength qualifies as the real thing. MAGA folks want a gutless dictator, a mean dad who will knock the other guy's block off like Rocky or Terminator or Tony Soprano. They think a vengeful leader is the one who gets the minions the biggest slice of the pie, and MAGA sure thinks they deserve the lion's share of pie. The problem is, a mean dad needs to keep a pretty tight leash on the family if he's going to keep his place at the head of the table, and that means every kid in the family has to mold themselves into what dad demands. MAGAs want mean dad to say what's what, how it's going to go, and who they're going to be. But let's be honest, if you're a grown-up who needs a mean dad to tell you how it's going to be, then at a fundamental level, you've kind of failed at life. Because by the time you get to be a grown-up, you should be looking for more of an ally in a leader, and less of a mean daddy. By the time you're a grown-up, you should know that the best dad is nimble and can care for all his children. The best dad isn't fixated on making his children into the same shape he is because he knows each of them have their own shape. It's never an easier journey to have someone else tell you who you're supposed to be because it's never going to fit who you actually are. And the whole point of this entire experiment is to reach your authentic self. That is not compatible under a dictatorship. MAGA wants same because MAGA can't deal with different. MAGA would rather shave off the edges of a square to make it a circle instead of acknowledging the value of a square. MAGA wants only familiar shapes in the family, and MAGA wants to be reassured that mean daddy isn't going to let rogue shapes get pie. Honestly, I think many of the issues MAGA takes up are just excuses to see mean daddy shake his fist or rip off his tank top. Nowhere is this more obvious than the war on trans people. MAGA doesn't really worry about trans people taking over. They just think trans people are an easy target. MAGAs want mean dad to rein in those rule breakers. Look, dad, those circles think they're squares and squares think they're circles. Wah! Trans people are 1% of the population, so MAGA actually has to go out of their way to hate them. Trans people are taking up barely any space, but MAGA wants to see mean daddy flex. The whole war on trans people is a thinly veiled need for mean daddy to strong-arm someone. Anyone. As long as they make mean daddy look strong. Think about it, folks. MAGA tormenting 1% of the population is like a petulant child looking at 100 birthday gifts and not being able to enjoy any of them until mean daddy stomps on the one gift that isn't wrapped like the others. MAGA's mean daddy model makes them feel safe because MAGAs have been raised under the ultimate mean daddy, Big Daddy G, aka God. And Big G's no dummy. He knows in order to make somebody good, he's got to make somebody bad. The truth is the whole charade gives MAGA's failure at life away. Because think about it. What kind of a life are you leading when you can't enjoy 99 gifts because you're so focused on that one gift that was wrapped by someone so strong, so certain of their unique shape, that they aren't going to let you or your mean daddy tell them what shape they have to be and what wrapping paper they get to use? Yeah. Well, MAGAs, have a day. Have a day.